What's going on, you guys? Let's review Luke Cage Season 1, the new Netflix Marvel series. Since Marvel has been hitting it out of the park with 2 seasons of Daredevil and of course Jessica Jones, how does their newest entry stack up? This video will contain spoilers, so you have a 30-second intro that I'm about to play for you to click off this video if you have not seen Luke Cage, but the short review is, watch it, it's enjoyable, it is fun. Not sure if I like it quite as much as the others, and I'll get into that when I get into the spoilers. So anyways, with that being said, roll intro, let's get started. This video has nothing to do with anime and manga. I just slapped together another intro last night for fun, so I thought I'd use it. But anyways, Luke Cage. Giving Luke Cage his own series after Jessica Jones. How does this work out? Pretty damn well, actually. Mainly because I believe this was planned. I'm not too sure about Punisher. When I say I'm not too sure about Punisher, I know it wasn't planned, and that's why I'm not too sure about it. I don't know how I feel about them doing a Punisher series just because the character was popular. I hope it's good, you know what I mean? I hope they put the same care into it that they're putting into all of these series. I mean, of course they're making all of these series to make money as well, but I feel like just making a Punisher series because he was popular, just knowing the motivation there just has me a little bit worried about how that series is going to turn out. I hope it's not rushed, and I hope it's really, really good and really polished like these shows, but not a Punisher speculation video, obviously. Talking about Luke Cage, just a little bit worried about how that one's going to turn out. But as far as Luke Cage goes, very consistent with the character we got in Jessica Jones, which is what you'd expect. Like I said, I'm pretty sure this was planned out. But we get more expanded on him. He gets more characterization, more character development, more backstory, all kinds of stuff like that. And it really, really works. Seeing his character evolve from what he was in the prison in Seagate to what he is in the beginning couple episodes, and then seeing him later on when he stops running from like all this stuff that's been, you know, eating away at him all his life. It's really, really cool. It's really cool to see him just say fuck it and start fucking up thugs. He has so many cool lines of dialogue that I'm not even going to try to fucking repeat because my white ass can't say these lines like a cool black man can, so fuck it. But anyways, that aside, the other characters, because he is really well handled, there's really not much else to say there. As far as the other characters go, we get Claire again. She has a bigger role here than she had in Jessica Jones. And she's pretty much Night Nurse. I don't know anything about Night Nurse other than her name is Night Nurse, but I'm pretty sure that's who this character is going to play. I think a thug even called her that, like kind of like a little like nod to the comics there. And she's always healing these fuckers. She's probably going to be in the Defenders as like their fucking official nurse, like their official doctor that's going to fix them up and shit. So yeah, she's cool still though. She's a great character as she always is. She was great in Daredevil Season 2. And I don't think I mentioned her in the Daredevil Season 2 review actually. I kind of forgot about her, but she's a good character. I really enjoy her. And we get new characters. What's her name? Misty Knight, I believe, the detective that's on like Luke Cage's trail because he's always at the center of all these incidents, and she's like, I don't trust you, but then they fucked in the beginning, so there's a little bit of drama there. So it's just, she's a cool character though. She's definitely got some good characterization, some good character development in there. Other characters we get introduced to, Cottonmouth. Down another character with really, really cool dialogue. He was really fun. I didn't like him too much at first. I thought he was just sort of like, oh, here's the thug guy. I hope he's not the main villain. But he really grew on me. He gets the backstory with Mama Mabel or whatever her name is, and having to kill that dude who wanted him to have a good life and all kinds of crazy shit. And yeah, he just went through some serious shit. And then you have, well, what was her name? Mariah or something? The city councilwoman. She's a fucking cunt. Oh my god, this bitch. Oh, Jesus Christ. Sweet Christmas, man. Like, this bitch. I mean, seriously, she starts off as a really well-developed character. She doesn't want to be too much involved with these crime things that Cottonmouth's doing, but she's still involved, and she still knows the crime life from what she grew up with fucking Mama Mabel. And the way she develops and the dark path she goes down and how she becomes just this lying bitch right in front of the cops. That last scene is like hard to watch to a certain extent, where they kill what was her name, Candace, and then she's like, oh my god, she's dead, and am I still under arrest? And she's just, the crocodile tears, it's, oh my god, it's, what a bitch, man. You just want to see Luke Cage just cave her fucking face in, but probably season 2 or Defenders, we'll just have to wait and see. I didn't love the finale of this show, by the way, but I'll get into that. I'm not really done with the characters yet. We also get Pops. I believe his name was Henry Hunter or something like that. Of course, Marvel with their alliteration. Pops was a cool character. We don't see much of him, obviously, because he dies in episode 2, but he was still a really cool character, and I love the callback to his always forward speech at the end of the season. Got me a little emotional. Didn't cry or nothing, but I was like, that was good. That was a really good callback. That whole speech he gave, that whole anti-violence speech about the youth and setting a better example for the youth and everything, it felt really appropriate. You could say it was maybe a little preachy, but I think because Luke Cage was such a likable character and because they were setting things like this up throughout the whole season, it pays off. It doesn't come across as preachy. It comes across as a really good message, and that was really, really great. I sort of digressed there a little bit. There's only one more major character I want to talk about, though, and that is Diamondback Willis Stryker. I wasn't really sure I liked how this character was handled. A lot of the acting in this show is over the top. It takes itself seriously, but there's still over the top acting from characters like Cottonmouth and Shades, who I'm not really going to go into too much. He was cool, but there wasn't really much to him, honestly. They're over the top, but a little subtle. Like, it's a subtle over the top that really works. It's, I don't know, there's just something about it that works. But with Stryker, I didn't really like his delivery. Everything felt like he was putting on a performance, and I don't know, his backstory with Luke Cage came out of nowhere. There was really no hinting at it as far as I recall. And when this guy first got introduced, I was like, is this a dude from the prison? Wait, who the fuck is this guy? Am I supposed to know him? And no, you're not supposed to know him. And by the end, there is some nice moments where it's cutting between them and boxing as kids, or like teenagers. And by the way, those kids, really good job feeling like younger versions of these characters. They were only there for like a couple scenes in the last episode, but they really felt like young Luke Cage and young Willis Stryker, so that was really good acting on their part. But yeah, just the way this dude was characterized and his personality and everything, I wasn't a huge fan. I didn't mind the super suit at the end. It looked a little corny, but whatever, it looked okay. The final fight was pretty badass between the two of them. It was really cool to see someone actually be able to go blow for blow with Luke Cage in combat, fucking up cars around them and shit. It was a fun fight. And I felt the characterization there, but it would have been a lot stronger had this character maybe been set up in the very beginning. Like maybe the first episode could have had flashbacks to when he was a kid with his brother. Maybe like actually show more of him getting framed by him with the Grand Theft Auto thing and going to Seagate. But as it is, it'll probably get expanded on more later. It really does feel like they wanted to set up for a season 2, which is one of the reasons why I didn't love the ending of this show. And I guess I'm pretty much done with the characters, so I can go a little bit more into it. I guess I'll just go into like negatives real quick. For one, the ending felt like sequel bait. Daredevil Season 1 and Season 2, you feel it, but you kind of know they're going to keep going. But for some reason, this really, like, the way Mariah didn't get caught and goes out there, and the way he goes back to Seagate Prison, and then the other dude finds the fucking folder that could prove his innocence, and all that stuff just really made it feel sequel bait-ish, especially with the doctor. You know, he kept the fucking stuff from Reva, so now he knows how to recreate the thing, and it looks like he's going to do it on Stryker. It's a bittersweet, more so bitter ending for the good guys, and it felt like they were like, yeah, we're going to make a season 2. And I don't know, I just wasn't fully satisfied with the final episode, outside of the fight, which was really, really entertaining. You could say I'm nitpicking, or it's just my personal bias or whatever. Maybe you felt differently, and that's totally cool. That's just how I felt about the final episode. But there's not a lot else to say bad about the series. None of the characters were really all that annoying or anything. There weren't really any subplots it would cut to where I was like, oh, I don't care about this at all. Most of it's pretty tightly written and pretty well done. A little bit of an issue towards the finale, like it really felt like in the club, like in Harlem's Paradise, they were going to settle shit. Like it really felt like with, Diamondback giving that speech on the intercom and everything, and the cops outside, and it really felt like this was going to be the finale, like they were leading up to the big confrontation. and then the cops barge in and arrest Luke Cage, and then he breaks out, like, in the beginning of the next episode, and that felt a little weird. The way he was just giving the speech, and Luke Cage was coming up the stairs, coming from the basement up there, and he's giving this, like, I think he was like a Bible verse or something, or just talking about his family, I'm not too sure. It really felt like they were leading into the big fight, and then it didn't happen, which obviously there were still a couple more episodes, but... And having it take place at Pops' shop and on that street did make sense too, but I don't know, that just seemed a little disjointed. That's more nitpicking though, to be completely honest with you. So yeah, really solid characters with really solid character development. Some stuff towards the final few episodes that I wasn't a huge fan of. Also, what happened to the bullet hole he took like right here? I think he got shot like right around here. The one in his stomach, or like his lower like abdominal, whatever the fuck. That one they had to remove shrapnel from, and they had to go through this big ordeal to remove it, and it was cool and everything. But what happened to the one that he got shot by the second time? Did that one not release shrapnel into his body? I don't know. They never really addressed that one, so... Okay, I guess it didn't release shrapnel. Maybe there was a line of dialogue that I missed. You go ahead and correct me in the comment section below. As far as the visuals go for this series, I guess I should talk about that. This is another pretty big positive, outside of great characters, overall good backstory and narrative structure, with a few things towards the end being iffy for me. The visuals in the show were really great. The special effects are good. It's a good looking show with really good lighting. It feels like it could be in the same universe as Daredevil and Jessica Jones, as well as the Marvel Universe, just a darker, more grimier version. And I don't even want to say version, because this is taking place in Harlem. Not to shit-talk Harlem or anything, but it takes place in Harlem, Hell's Kitchen. Both of these places are not considered amazing, you know what I mean? Like, they're not the cleanest places ever in New York, so it makes sense that this would look a little dirtier and a little more... You know, New York's just a busy place and everything, so, I mean, it's called Hell's Kitchen, for God's sake. Like, what do you expect? And I know this is Harlem, but still. No, but there's not really much else to say. The characters are really good. The story and backstory is really good. What ends up happening with him and his dead wife or dead girlfriend, Riva... That was interesting. It was interesting that he actually didn't really, like, he loved the idea of, like he said, he loved the idea of her, but not her herself, after finding out that she was keeping things from him and lying to him. And that was interesting. It was interesting that the perfect picture of her that he had in his head didn't turn out to be true. It reminds me of Steven Universe. Weird-ass comparison, but it reminds me of Steven Universe and his mother, who's dead. But, yeah, so that was interesting. That's another really good show, Steven Universe. Check that out if you haven't. I've been meaning to make a video about it now that it's on hiatus, but anyways. That weird, random-ass digression aside, I don't really have much else to say about Luke Cage. I'd probably give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. I don't think I like it as much as either Daredevil season, and I'd have to rewatch Jessica Jones, but I feel like Jessica Jones might also be a bit better. It wasn't a bad show at all. It really wasn't, and I don't even know what rating I gave Jessica Jones at all, but... I feel an 8 out of 10 is appropriate for this series. I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. But I did have some issues with the ending and the final couple episodes, narrative structure-wise, and overall, I don't think it was quite as good as those other shows, but it's still really entertaining. I definitely think you should check it out, for sure. Fun characters with really good dialogue, and even though it's a little over the top, I liked it in terms of acting. And yeah, and the line delivery, of course, for the dialogue. But I think that's what helps the dialogue be even cooler. So, yeah, it's really well directed. Looks really good. Couple of issues towards the end of the series doesn't stop me from highly recommending it. 8.5 out of 10. But what did you guys think of Luke Cage? You guys can go ahead and tell me in the comments section below. I just realized I, like, recommended the show, even though I just spoiled everything. But whatever. Fuck it, no takes. What did you guys think of Luke Cage? You guys can go ahead and tell me in the comment section below. You can also follow me on Instagram or add me on PSN. I'm petplatypus on both. You can also give this video a thumbs up and share it on social media. Both those would help me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already, or if you like what you've seen here. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.